Hey, brown babes. Akila here. Just wanted to let you know that this week's episode is going to be a favorite. We call these the classic, well, honestly episodes. It is a repeat, but I think it's chock full of information for you all to absorb again. We will see you in new episodes in the future. Bye.
Hey, brown beauties. Welcome to Well, Honestly, the podcast. I'm Andretta.
And I'm Akila, and we're your hosts. Well, honestly, what is this podcast all about?
Our show is about women doing better tomorrow than they are doing today, so we can take control of our health. We give you real talk and educate you on all things related to health, mental wellness, and nutrition for brown women all over the world. Once you know what choices you have, you can do better, because we know the struggle is real.
We invite you to come as you are, but leave inspired to become your best healthy self. So let's get started. Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Brown Women Wellness, Well, Honestly, the podcast. Akila, you're kind of funny over there. What are you talking about? I'm so confused.
Well, when I get with this mic, I low-key feel like I'm somebody's rapper, singer, something like, you always want to say mic check, 1, 2, 1, 3.
Because all of a sudden she did a mic check and I'm like, what was that? But
Me
anyway,
breaking the ice.
She was breaking the ice. Okay, so how are you today?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Are you ready to record another episode?
I'm ready, Freddy.
So we dropped our first episode and it went live last week. By the time they hear this episode, they would have heard about maybe 4 more. But we dropped our very first one. How did you feel about that?
I was nervous, girl. I felt good about it. I mean, I knew that it was solid for our very first ever time doing a podcast. But you don't know how other people are going to perceive it. And I see what people mean by when they say they create art, and then once they create it and they put it out in the world, it's for the people.
Right.
Because literally it was just like, okay, now let's see what the reaction is. And it got a really good response.
It got a great response. I didn't know. Okay, for me, the preparation and then making sure that people knew we were there. I was like, okay, how are these people going to know we're here? We've created this, I thought was a great podcast, the first one. And I said, hey, these people got to go find it. So if you are listening and you didn't hear the very first podcast, go back to episode number 1 where we explain who we are and why we created Brown Women Wellness, and it's chock full of information about our personal lives.
Yeah, it's a really good episode, and we got some positive feedback on the sound quality, which is something that you and we were very particular about. So we're glad that you guys like it. And yeah, I'm just really excited to just keep the train going and get this party moving.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get started on this episode. This is episode number 7, actually. So we're going to talk about, this is interesting because you know how the rumor mill is. You know what they always say, if you put it out there in our community and it take hold of the gossip line, we believe it firmly. We say this is what it is because somebody else told somebody and somebody else told somebody, and it just become the truth. So today what we're going to talk about is some of the lies we've been told about some of those things that are making us and keeping us fat, sick, and unhealthy.
Yes. So,
but before we get into that, we're going to do breaking news of the week. So, Akila, that's going to be you because Akila was talking to me last week about, she's heavy into astrology. She kind of keeps me like she see numbers 1010 and 1111, and she runs and say, hey, did you see 1010? And I'm like,
I don't sound quite like that.
It doesn't mean anything to me, but it means something to people who keep up with numbers. So she also told me that we were getting ready to enter into a new age.
So here's the deal. Now when it comes to the numbers thing, I don't pay attention. It finds me. And it's been doing this for years. I know you don't really jive and get it, and that's totally fine. But I know that anybody else that's listening, they know what I'm talking about, because I will literally go around the corner, look at my phone randomly, look up at the oven or the stove or anywhere where there is a time, and I'll see either lately it's been 333, 444, and 1212. Then, I'll tell you how freaky it is. One day, the entire day, I kept seeing 333. On my receipt, I remember I was in H&M. Actually, I was in H&M with you. And I looked down, and the total was 333.33. Now, come on now. Then I got in the car, and it turned to be 3:33 p.m. It was just too much. So these things, after a while, you're like, okay, what does all this mean? So you start doing research, because I don't believe in coincidences personally. And so I'm just like, okay, well, what does all this mean? So I've just been going down rabbit holes and, looking at things. And I've noticed that there has been a shift in energy, especially with this year being the way that it is. So according to astrology, December 21st is where the Great Conjunction happens. Do you know what that means?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Explain it to us.
Don't get me to lying. And as I'm talking, I'm going to try to make sure that I tell you guys the actual. But basically, the Great Conjunction is where Jupiter and I want to say Saturn. Yes, Jupiter and Saturn will basically kind of align with each other. And because of that alignment, it hasn't happened, I think, in a century or so. Because of that, the alignment will be in the quarter of Aquarius when it comes to the sky.
Are we talking like the age?
So basically what we're doing is we're going into the age of Aquarius. The energy of the atmosphere will be an Aquarian energy. We were in Capricorn energy for the last decade or two or so. That's where all that hustle, work hard, grind, all of those kind of energies come into play, because that is a very Capricorn nature. If you don't know, look that up. But because we're shifting gears on an energetic level, Aquarius energy is very light. It's very introspective. It is a very kind of chaos, but within containment kind of energy. And so Aquarius, the age of Aquarius basically is all about balance. So it's beyond me right now how it all will, come about, because it is not December 21st yet. Actually, it's December 12th. But right now you should be feeling like a different kind of energy. Some people, it may cause a little bit of anxiousness because there is a shift happening. But one thing I will say is that no matter what's happening, I think that we should all learn how to surrender to what we cannot control and to shift our perspectives into a positive state. I'm excited about it because it's like, look, it's nothing I can do about it. I might as well embrace what this energy represents, which is good. It's nothing crazy and bad. It's not doom and gloom and doomsday. You'll wake up and you'll be like, well, what's the difference? Like, it won't be like a whole shift, but it definitely will be an energy that will be felt very strong within the first year of this dawning. So that's just a little something for y'all to know about.
Interesting, because when she said the age of Aquarius, to me, the first thing people, if you're in my age group, you remember this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That's what we did. Remember, we were, that was a hippie time. We were hanging out. We was hanging out. We had on our bell bottoms. We had on our French vest. Oof. We had colored shirts on.
The 70s is not where. How some people say to you, "Oh, what decade, if you weren't in, would you like to go to?" It would not be the 70s for me, because I feel like y'all were tripping.
A lot of babies were born in there.
Yeah, y'all look at this. But people forget it says the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Correct. Dawning means you're coming into. You're not in it.
Right.
The 21st is like,
we're going to be in it. Okay.
We're in it. We've been dawning for a while now, but it's like, here's the shift.
So for all my astrology heads out there, I know you guys know what she's talking about.
Let me know. So look, when y'all hear this episode, go ahead and go to our Facebook group, Brown Wellness, or our Instagram, Brown Wellness. And I want y'all to be like, I feel you, sis, on this astrology. Just let me know I'm not the only one, because I know I'm not. I'm dealing with a whole baby boomer who just, this ain't her jam, but It's out here, y'all.
I used to be heavy into astrology, but I moved out of that phase. Okay, with this, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back and we're gonna do the first lie. So stay tuned. Feeling stressed? Need to calm your anxiety naturally? Be Well CBD tea can do just that. Hand-picked organic herbs infused with CBD will relax you and calm those nerves. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get your 15% off. Use this code WellHonest15. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to tackle this first lie. And now, I don't know exactly if this is a lie, but I'm gonna preface it first before we get into that. Now, we're always hungry for information. Most people are kind of lazy when it comes to trying to find their own information. We kind of believe everything that we hear or see, and with the social media now, we really fall into that trap of listening and believing to everything that we see. And so there's a lot of myths out there, especially when it comes to food, big pharma, looking for that magic pill, we know we all looking for that magic pill that will take care of whatever ails us. And we also, we have a tendency to think our doctor can fix everything. And what we are finding out, of course, is that it's about our lifestyle. It's not really about the doctor. You want to prevent going to the doctor. So we're going to talk about some of these things about, all this noise we hear out here, like what you're going to eat, what you should eat, what you should not eat, what medicine you should be taking, what vitamins you should be taking, what exercises, yada, yada.
Don't you love it when people just tell you what you should and shouldn't do, and then it turns out to be complete and utter not true?
Oh, and this is one of the ones that I believed, I didn't know. I thought I was, I'm going to get into the first one, okay? And it's going to be about the skinny on fat. All right? Now, fat. When we talk about fat, we're not talking about the fat that's on our bodies. All right. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the fat that we eat. We have a tendency. We thought that fat would make us fat. Okay. They had us believing that for a long time, that if you ate fat, you were going to get fat.
Is that why there were so many low fat things for so long? Low fat cheese, low fat yogurt, low fat this.
Yes.
Everywhere you turn, everything was low fat. I never understood that.
Yes, because once the lies get out there and people start believing things, what happens is the big food companies, they catch on and immediately they start marketing and making products for us. And then we really believe the lie, because now when we go in the grocery store, we see all this low fat stuff and we think that by eating low fat, it's going to help us not get fat. And we also think it's healthier for us. Well, that could be nothing further from the truth, okay? Eating fat will not make you fat, but eating sugar and grains will. So it's not the fat. So, and so if your doctor tells you to eat less fat and exercise more, get up, find you another doctor, okay? Because it's not true. So some of the foods that we've been told that is causing us harm, we're going to discuss some of those exact foods, but let me tell you where this lie started, because, give you a quick little history lesson.
Yeah, let's get some history.
In the late 50s, there was a doctor. Well, he was a doctor, Dr. Keys. He was paid to do research by the big food companies. Now, what we got to remember is, and whenever there's research, you got to research the researcher. Okay. You need to know and you also need to research the study. You got to figure out how many people did they actually go to? How many people, who were these people? And who was this researcher? So Dr. Keys was paid to do research by the big food companies and to villainize fat, because they had an agenda. They wanted to change the way Americans ate. They wanted to market certain foods to keep you addicted, because there are certain foods that are very, very addictive. And so this will keep you spending money on the wrong food. All right. So the researcher was Dr. Keys. And Dr. Keys, he hypothesized that dietary saturated fat caused heart disease. I think the president at that time was Roosevelt. And Roosevelt had a heart attack. And they told him that his heart attack was because he ate too much fat. and they put him on a low-fat diet. Okay. And so that was a study that was done. And this study just took legs and ran off. So everybody thought that fat would make you fat or unhealthy.
Why do you think someone will want to change how you eat? Like, what would be the reason for that?
Dollar signs.
But what is in it? Is it that if you're unhealthy, then the medical industry will make more money? Is that what you think the shift was for? Or
well, I'm not going to get into a conspiracy.
Hypothesize
I don't want to get into that because I know we got a lot of doctors that listen to our show, and I believe we need them. Okay, but in this particular case, this is one of those things where everybody just followed whatever the study was. And it really, I can't even tell you. The big food companies saw dollar signs, and that's how the fat-free industry was born. They led us to believe that if we don't eat fat, we can't get fat. So anyway, so they started swapping fat and replacing it with refined sugar and processed proteins that taste like fat. And boom, your waistline got larger. So fat-free, you still see fat-free foods in the grocery store. If you go in the grocery store right now, they got fat-free peanut butter. They got fat-free corn syrup.
It's fat-free everything.
If you go in there right now, you will see it. And then they told us to avoid, there are good fats and there are bad fats. So that's the key. We got good fats and we have bad fats. So the ones that you want to avoid are those trans fats, like margarine. Did you know margarine was nothing but plastic?
Yeah, I actually didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I knew that.
Yeah, margarine is not no type of butter. For those of you still out there eating margarine.
Yeah, stop eating margarine.
It's not. It's man-made, pretty much. It's not.
What is a margarine? Have you ever thought about that? What exactly is that?
It's not good for you. I can promise you that. Remember Crisco? I remember my mother she could not fry anything unless she had some Crisco oil.
Fried, dyed, and laid to the side on that Crisco.
Oh, but Crisco, when it first came out, was really, really an oil. But then as time went on, they changed the formula. Mm-hmm. And so the Crisco that's today on the shelf is not the same Crisco that my mama cooked with. You know what?
I know why people eat margarine.
Why?
It goes back to what you just said. The food industry, the doctors, all of that, they geared people towards margarine because it was so-called better than butter.
Mm-hmm.
But no one ever questioned, well, what exactly is margarine made of, and what is a margarine, and why is it so much better for you? They'll slap the low fat. They'll slap these labels on it and say this is the one, but why not just eat? If you're gonna do it, why not just eat butter? You know exactly where it's coming from.
And where we are now, everybody now realize butter is much better for you than margarine. And then don't forget they came out with I can't believe it's butter. Oh my
not
God.
Butter. I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. I'm sorry. And we used to buy this by the boatload thinking, oh man, we're doing something right. This is the most processed food you could buy. You talking processed. So, that's one of the things too. I'll tell you another example. There's some more examples of foods that we can go into with this fat thing. That Sargento shredded cheese?
Well, all shredded cheese. There is a recent study that came out that shredded cheese, I'm not going to say all, but a good majority of shredded cheese is actually shredded with wood chips.
So it's called cellulose.
Yeah.
Which is a additive made from wood.
And the FDA allows a certain amount of wood chipping in your shredded cheese. That's a fact. Look that up.
Oh my God. Think about that. So if you ever wonder why you're gaining weight and you're all inflamed, it's that cheese they be spreading all over your...
If you're going to eat cheese, make sure that it's organic in bulk and you can shred it yourself.
Yeah, because it's not going to be good. That same thing go for that Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese is not, most of it is, 80% of it is not Parmesan.
Anything pre-shredded, you kind of want to steer clear from. Just get it whole and just do it yourself.
So that's another example of a fat that's not good for you. And then salad dressings. Have you ever wondered why salad dressings can stay on the shelf forever?
Forever.
Okay. You ever think about when you passing the salad dressing shelf and you're picking out one and you say, if it's really just all whole food, how could it stay on the shelf forever?
But it's not. And also, why is it not refrigerated? Aha.
Think about that.
Stuff that make you go,
Because most of the salad dressings are made with a soybean oil base. And soybean oil is one of those products that is being sprayed with pesticides.
Yeah, it's a stabilizer too, so
exactly.
it can keep it on the shelf for a long time.
There you go. So the whole idea is to keep something on the shelf for a very long time so you guys can, I'm getting ready to say one to everybody. Don't beat me up, all you ginger ale lovers out there, because I know y'all getting ready to get on me, okay? But
not ginger ale.
I got to tell y'all the truth about ginger ale. And I'm not going to say the name, but it's one of the leading sellers of ginger ale.
Ain't no ginger in that ale.
Ain't no ginger in that ale. And you know when they say natural flavors, you got to remember, do you know that natural flavors mean nothing? The government they do not regulate natural flavors. Mm-mm. I could make a product right now today and put natural flavors on it, and it could contain all kind of junk. And I could put it on the shelf, and people will just flock to it because it says natural flavors.
Also, Black people, ginger ale does not cure your cold. I know we grew up thinking that and doing that, and some of us are still doing it. Stop it. Just say you enjoy it, but it's not curing anything. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. We grow up with these things thinking that we are doing something good, and that's why I want to expose some of these myths. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the good fats. They're the ones that I said are good for you. Okay.
Do you want to bulletproof your immune system to fight viruses during cold and flu season? A cup of Be Well immunity can keep the doctor away and keep that immune system at optimal levels. There are 8 well-crafted, organic, hand-picked herbs that will do just that. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get 15% off your next purchase using code WellHonest15.
All right, we're back. Okay, so let's talk about a few good fats. So now I know a lot of you guys have heard of keto. Keto has really rocked the world right now. And one of the reasons keto is so popular is because people who are on keto actually lose a lot of weight. So if you're into weight loss or looking for a way to eat healthy, but now they've also taken keto and gone too far.
Yes, they have.
Because on the shelf now you go, there's keto products, and you look at the label on the back of it, and you'll see a lot of additives. They've added all these things to try. Every time the food companies find a trend, they take that trend and they just
run it to the ground.
And then they make it no longer it's not good for you anymore.
And that's the part about it, right? Because keto actually has really great health benefits for those who need it.
Exactly.
So if you have diabetes,
yes.
If you need to regulate, blood sugar and all this other kind of stuff, actually doing a lower carb, higher fat diet will help your insulin levels.
Yes.
That's factual, right?
Yeah,
but then, and obviously when you do that, you lose weight. But it's amazing to me how something that can have such a positive effect. Mm-hmm. If you tell somebody now keto, you eating just a cheese sandwich.
Exactly.
Everything is cheese and meat, cheese and meat. And it's like, that's really not the proper way to go about keto.
Exactly.
If you're going to do it.
And there's a healthy way to do it. And then there's the way that if you listen to other people out there to do it, you're going to fall into that trap. You know, again.
And don't let nobody, if you want to do keto, do it. But if you're going to do it, actually take the time to understand what it is and how to do it the right way. Don't let nobody cheese and meat you to death, because they'll make you feel like that's the way you have to do it. And it's not necessarily true. And you don't want to eat just cheese and meat, because you will end up getting yourself stopped up. You will end up, actually not doing the things that keto was supposed to do, because you're not doing it right.
And then you'll say it don't work.
Exactly.
And so
you'll say it's a bunch of BS.
Exactly.
And it's not. You're just not doing it right.
You're just not doing it right. And there's so many people out there. If you just Google keto, there's so many people out there doing keto. In fact, hopefully we'll have a guest on. There's a whole group out there. I think they call themselves Black Girls Keto. We want to talk to them about it and see how they're doing it. Mm-hmm. But here, just let me say this real fast, so we're going to get off the subject. There are good fats. Let me name some of them that are really good for you. One of them is grass-fed butter. Yes, I said it. The cow needs to eat grass, not shot up with all those antibiotics, not given all these, they feed cows things to make them fat real fast. You know that, right?
All animals that aren't
Yeah, they're supposed to eat grass,
right.
and they're supposed to eat grass.
Supposed to graze.
Exactly. That's their natural habitat.
Mm-hmm.
So you want good fat like a grass-fed butter. You want real olive oil. Now, the olive oil industry. Do you know that the olive oil industry? Do you know?
I know all about it. I read a real wild article that the drug smugglers are starting to use olive oil to smuggle the drugs in, which I think is insane.
Not only are they smuggling the drugs in, they're actually smuggling in the olive oil itself. So
how do you smuggle in?
They're smuggling olive oil because what they're doing, they're cutting the olive oil with other oils to make it look like olive oil. So a lot of olive oil that's on the shelf is fake. And how can you tell the real olive oil from the fake olive oil? That's a whole show in itself. I actually went into Whole Foods and did if you're part of the Facebook group, Brown Women Wellness, you probably remember I snuck into Whole Foods and I showed you guys on the video all the olive oils that were on the shelf and which ones were fake and which ones were real.
I could hear like a Mission Impossible theme in my head talking about you snuck into
I was with the camera and I was showing them the bottles and I was showing them which ones were fake and which one. So that's a whole subject in itself, but trust me, it's different when you look at the olive oils on the shelf. I'll have to stay tuned and I'll show you guys how to find the fake ones and the real ones. The other good fat is avocados. Avocados, and all of a sudden you see avocados everywhere.
Yeah.
If there was a time you couldn't find an avocado.
They have avocado ice cream. That's how much avocados have been like a thing and trendy.
And you really can't go wrong eating an avocado. The new thing is eat avocado a day and it keeps the doctor away. It used to be eat an apple a day. Now it's eat avocado a day and it keeps the apple away. But
some people don't like avocados. But let me tell you, it's so many different ways that you can make and use avocados.
Yes.
Give them a shot if you don't like them. They're tasty when done right.
Yeah, they got to be done right. Then, of course, we got all our nuts. Those are your good fats. So your walnuts, your almonds, your pecans. All of that is good for you. So we know about nuts. Just make sure you chew them very well, though, okay, when you're eating them. And then I'm going to talk about the yolk of the egg. Do you know for a long time they had us eating egg whites?
People still swear by only eating egg whites.
That was part of that low-fat thing.
I never understood that.
That was part of it.
Why are we unless you're making a dessert that requires you to separate the yolk from the white. Why? What? I never understand. You know who the group of people that do that a lot? I noticed that people that are into fitness, they swear by all egg whites and like one yolk. And I'm like, well, what's the science behind that? I guess it's more protein in the white. But child, if you don't eat a whole egg and go about your business.
The only place I'm gonna put a white is on my face for a mask.
Or in a cocktail.
I'll make a face mask with my egg white. But as far as just getting rid of the yolk and not eating the white, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. So anyway, eat your eggs, guys. That's the bottom line. And so do your homework. Is what I say. Keep reading my blogs. Keep coming to Brown Women Wellness, our website. We'll educate you. You'll be smarter than your doctor. Because a lot of times doctors don't study nutrition, and they'll tell you that. They get up. I think they get like 8 hours of nutrition throughout the whole medical school. So nutrition is not their thing. So it's better for you to go and do your own homework. And so keep cooking that grass-fed steak and keep that skin on your chicken and wild-caught fish. And
let me just say this. Spend the money. Spend the money.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another day. But we've got to get out of this mentality that it costs so much to eat healthy. Yeah, it may be a premium, but which one would you rather have? Would you rather pay $15 for that steak, or would you rather pay your copay be $500 for whatever pills they gave you because now your artery is 2 steps away from exploding? Like put it. I know that sounds extremely like dramatic, but we have to shift our mindset because these foods are important. You eat it every day. Spend the money on the organic. It ain't gonna, y'all listen. Stop playing. Y'all got it. People always want to, it's just so expensive. Y'all spend money on all other types of BS. Yes. Amazon. Let me go into your Amazon cart right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Exactly. And you know what's happening too is starting those foods now, if you really research, and we got, by the way, if they go to our website, we have a link to Thrive Market.
Yes.
And Thrive Market is one of those, I don't care where you are located, you can go into Thrive Market and you will get a discount on great buys of grass-fed this, grass-fed that. They have some real good deals.
I love Thrive Market. Now, me personally, I will spend, anybody that knows me, they know I will spend money on good food. Whether I'm at a restaurant, if I'm cooking it myself, I'm spending that 30. I've spent almost $30 on a piece of fish. So I'm talking because I know I do this. But if you go to places like Thrive Market, you will get the premium that most of these places like Whole Foods and all that, they put on food. They cut that off.
They do.
Because it's coming directly from the vendor themselves.
And we're going to provide a link too. You'll see a show in our show notes. We have a link to Thrive Market. Now, it is a membership. There's a small yearly fee for Thrive Market. Actually, what they do, they give that money to that's a charity.
It's a local charity or some type of charity
they give it to. But then once you join, and by the way, when I order my box from Thrive Market, it comes the next day almost.
It legit comes like the next 2 days.
So it's like it's better than going to the health food store, and it's far cheaper than Whole Foods.
And it's really cool too because it has, and we're not getting paid by Thrive Market.
No, we're not.
To do all, but we really do rock with Thrive Market a lot because I like it. If you go on the website, they have things broken down by category. So let's say, for instance, you did want to do keto. All you had to do is click on keto, and they'll show you all the keto options.
Right.
Let's say if you
low fat.
were looking for low fat or whatever you were looking for specifically, they have that so that it's easy for you to get and find. And it's a really dope site. So y'all should really check that out.
Yeah, okay. Well, on that note, we're going to, I guess we'll take our last sponsorship break. We'll be right back. Are you tired of being tired? Are you aching, have pain in unexplained places? At the root of all diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure and many more is chronic inflammation. There are 10 wild-crafted organic hand-picked herbs in the Be Well anti-inflammation tea that will help calm those flames. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get 15% off by putting in the code WellHonest15.
All right, so let's go into our honesty moment, shall we? I'll go first. I'm going to be very honest on this one. I'm always honest, but I'm going to get a little vulnerable.
Let's get vulnerable.
So recently we've relaunched, our campaigns and our whole razzmatazz.
The website too, right?
Everything has been revamped and all that. We did a photo shoot not too long ago. We did it in the middle of the pandemic.
We did.
Like in the height of the pandemic.
I think it was about 4 months ago.
It was about five months ago. It might have been because the year's almost up, so it might have been 5. Your girl was in the house doing what I do, which was what everybody was doing, overeating, drinking in the house.
Are you getting ready to talk about what everybody...
So I put on some weight. Now, here's the thing about...
The COVID weight, they call it the COVID-15? I put on the
COVID-15. I for sure did. And here's the thing about it, right? I personally like myself in a certain way because I don't think I gain weight well. That's just what I feel like. Some people, they gain weight and you be like, where girl? Or, oh, that went in the right places and all this and all of that, right? No. That's not my genes. So I'm looking at these pictures that we took and they're beautiful. Shout out to Kenneth Dixon and shout out to Keisha Ferguson who put the photo shoot and video shoot together.
And don't forget our fabulous makeup artist.
Yes, and Trifino who killed the beat. And I'm looking at myself and I hate the way I look in these pictures.
Well, you know what? I think that's normal. I mean, if you put on 15 pounds, it's going to, you might not, trust me, I wasn't happy either. Honestly.
You was good in those photos.
Yeah, I actually was better in those photos, but the second set of photos that we just did, and you'll see those in our videos, that's where my COVID-15 was. So you had yours in the beginning. So you'll get to see those pictures, by the way. She have on a floor shirt. That's what she's talking about.
And I
think she looks beautiful.
And you know what? So what I'm saying is to say is that I had to get over myself mentally because I have lost that weight. But you wouldn't know that because what you're looking at it's a photo, it's in time, it's forever.
And I was going to say, it's out there forever in the universe.
And we really are putting ourselves out there. And I'm like, this would be the photo shoot.
But you know what? That's
now I kind of want to do a new.
But that's the beauty of this, because we know, like Black women, we have a tendency to yo-yo diet. You know, we yo-yo.
Not diet, but we yo-yo in our weight.
Yeah, COVID, whatever. It don't even have to be around. You know, in your 20s, you might weigh one thing. In your 30s, you weigh one thing. I remember I was the heaviest in my 40s. I go back and look at pictures, and I look at my jaws, and I look at everything, and I go, oh my God, did I look like that? so yeah, we yo-yo. But that's why this group is so well, because we believe in what? Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, and again, it's a personal thing for me. Like, some people don't mind the extra weight. Some people, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's all personal. But for me, I did not like, and I don't think it was the most flattering of angles. So, and I can tell when I look at the pictures, I'm looking at myself like, you felt uncomfortable. Actually, I hated my outfit, but that's a whole nother, it's a whole nother topic for another day.
Well, anyway.
But honestly speaking, we have got to, now this is where self-love has come in and where I've grown, because I did have my moments where I was like, oh my God, I hate this. And then I said, Akila, girl, boo, because not only are you beautiful, no matter what size you are, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, so
exactly, and it's really and truly what you find out is only about the way you feel.
Exactly,
it's not the way everybody else feel. They may find you beautiful and gorgeous.
I find me beautiful and gorgeous. I just felt like, wow, like I could see the difference in me. The COVID weight literally was sitting there in front of me, and I hadn't paid attention to it until.
So how did you get the COVID weight off?
Well, I went on more walks.
Okay.
And I did a gut reset.
Okay.
Because I was eating everything under the sun.
Who wasn't?
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And y'all know what we talking about when we say this. And I did a fast. It was a food fast. I ate with this fast.
So you detoxed?
I detoxed. I exercised more, drank more water, got back into what I was doing before this whole 2020 situation happened, and it fell off.
Very good. So we know now that just because we do pick those things up and don't feel good, we know there are some things
you can always turn it around.
We can always turn it around.
What's your honesty moment, Andrea?
Mine, I'm going to make it real fast because you kind of took up all the time. Just playing. But anyway, my honesty moment
you even got Brian laughing.
I know, right?
It's like, girl.
Well, okay. My honesty moment is I feel inflamed at the moment, and I can tell when my body is off keter. And so I'm trying to work on myself. I've been so busy because we're running not only are we running Brown Women Wellness, but we're running our day jobs as well. And you find yourself just holding more wine at the end of the day. Okay. So at the end of the day, you want to relax, and you know how easy it is to drink a whole bottle of wine.
It's so easy.
And I have found myself, okay, I'm gonna have a glass of wine, and then to relax. And good wine, by the way. That's another thing.
We're going to talk about
another topic.
Good alcohol.
There is good alcohol, bad alcohol. All of it's alcohol. But
yeah, but if you're going to drink good.
But a lot of wine contains so many additives and sulfites and all that stuff. So we try to drink good wine, but it don't matter what kind of wine it is. You're still drinking it. And next thing you know, the whole bottle is gone. So my honesty moment of the week is to cut back on that stuff and start doing more meditation and the things that I used to do. But all of that's part of this 2020 thing. When 2020 leaves, and I think we get some of this anxiety and stress away, I think we'll feel more in tune with ourselves. And that's about it. So we're going to kind of wrap it up. What are we loving this week? I think we already mentioned it.
I don't think we did.
I think we Thrive Market.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess we did. Yeah, Thrive Market is what we're loving this week, and loving every month, really. It's so clutch.
It's kind of like Amazon, you guys. It's the Amazon of food.
It is.
That's what Thrive Market is. So we'll provide you with a link on the show so that you can go right to their site and and get your goods, get your whole foods.
Everyone, don't forget. Find us everywhere you need to find us.
Please find us. And please don't forget to review us and subscribe.
That's what I wanted to say. When you're listening to this, I don't care where it is, go and leave us a review. You know, preferably on Apple Podcasts. But we got our Android listeners, and some people do the Spotify thing, and that's fine. But we're trying to get this out there. So just don't forget to rate us. subscribe to the podcast.
Yes.
And get your life and come back next week.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to Well Honestly, the podcast. If you want to know more about us and our products, check us out over on our website at brownwomenwellness.com. And remember, ladies, we are not doctors, and any information shared by us is not medical advice. Always follow your doctor's advice.
And don't forget to rate and review our podcast and let us know what you loved about this week's episode. And please subscribe to wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Feel free to email us and let us know what you would like to hear more of from us. Don't be afraid to say hi. We'll say hi right back to you.
Don't forget to find us across all social platforms at Brown Women Wellness. As always, show notes with links to what we talked about today in this week's episode will be in the description box below. Thanks for listening.